What's up, Ragin Nation? How's it going? This is Alex Yu, and you're watching the Ragin Ronin movie show. This is just a web series where we're talking about movies that matter to me. In this episode, I'm gonna give you a top 10 list. And, well, actually, that's completely wrong. I'm gonna give you a top 20 list. I've been waiting to give you this top 20 list for a very long time because I had to wait for 20 films in the Marvel Cinematic Universe to be released. Now we finally have those 20 films with the release of Ant-Man and the Wasp, and now I can rank all 20 films that we have now so far. But of course, once we get 5 more films or 10 more films later in the Marvel Cinematic Universe in the future phases, then I'll do a top 30s list and we'll rank them all over again. But in any case, 10 years later, after the release of Iron Man 1, we now have 20 films in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. It is now 2018, and it ended off with Ant-Man and the Wasp. And now I'm going to give you that ranking. 20 films. Let's just start with film number 20, and that is The Incredible Hulk. And this was a film that felt the most disconnected from the Marvel Cinematic Universe. First of all, it was a product of Universal Studios. It starred Edward Norton, and it has a Hulk that doesn't even look like the Hulk that we know that is played by Mark Ruffalo. And I just felt it was a very standard, typical superhero film that had a pretty underwhelming climactic finale. And I felt that the CG was not up to par, but still, I still said it was a good movie when I did my review for it. Still a good movie. I still really enjoyed it for what it is. Number 19, Iron Man 2. Easily one of the weaker films in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I mean, it's very hard to top the first Iron Man. And I felt that this film just, they could have done so much with with the Demon in the Bottle story. They only gave us like a smaller version of it. But I see where they were going with this film and trying to build the Avengers. You know, this was definitely a solid prequel to what's to come. But Iron Man 2 is definitely a film that could have used a lot more work, but it was still great to see all the different elements of it, like for example the introduction of the Black Widow character. So that was very cool. Number 18, I really didn't expect myself to put this film at number 18, but don't get me wrong, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 is still a really good movie. It's a good movie, but it's just definitely a weaker film, especially when you compare it with the far superior Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, I felt was just kind of like a gimmicky story. Now, I don't know very much about the source material, but as a film, it's got a lot of the elements that made the first one great, but like having it about Kurt Russell's character, the Celestial Eagle, and Eagle going up against Star-Lord, like once you see that climactic battle, while it was spectacular at times, it just felt very gimmicky, and it just didn't leave me like a very lasting impression. So Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 is number 18. Number 17, another one of the weaker films in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, Avengers Age of Ultron. Now once again, don't get me wrong, all of these films that I've listed so far are good. Like I enjoyed them for what they are. I just felt that the lack of storytelling, the storytelling is a bit lacking, especially in this sequel. Notice a pattern here. Iron Man 2, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, Avengers Age of Ultron, which is the second Avengers film. You know, there's a bit of like a lacking in the storytelling department. They don't have really strong stories here. And it was just about a big robot battle, and you know, it doesn't make a difference whether you're fighting aliens or robots or a whole bunch of other minions. It's still the same kind of just like world-ending type of battle, which we've seen many times before. So, which is unfortunate. Number 16, Thor. I really like Thor. I actually think it's a good movie. It's a very good movie, and the main reason why I liked it is not because of all the action, because it really doesn't have a whole lot of spectacular action. I thought that the final battle was great, but it wasn't like any of the more far superior battles that we've seen before. But what I liked about Thor is a very character-driven story. In fact, I think it's one of the most character-driven stories in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and that was enough for me to feel like this is a good movie. It's a very personal story, it's a fish out of water story, which, most people love. I really love the fish out of water story, and it's Thor coming into Earth and And there's so much going on there that really puts you into the mind of this Asgardian. So I really like that. Number 15, Thor: The Dark World. Now, I might have the unpopular opinion here, but I actually thought that Thor: The Dark World is a worthy sequel to Thor. I like Thor, but I thought I liked Thor: The Dark World even more because I felt like we were getting what we loved about the first one and then given more action and more visuals. But keep in mind that I also felt that Malekith is definitely one of the weakest villains in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, but they were still able to make a great final climactic battle out of that. So that was definitely good. Number 14, the most recent release, Ant-Man and the Wasp. A great film, don't get me wrong. It didn't make the top 10, but it's definitely a great film. Very, very enjoyable. But the fact that there was a lack of a strong antagonist, like an actual supervillain antagonist, that just made me feel like, okay, this is definitely weaker than the first first Ant-Man, but it still has a lot of great moments. It is a great film. It's a really fun and entertaining film, but Ant-Man and the Wasp is definitely not better than the original. Number 13, another unpopular opinion, Iron Man 3. I thought it was a great film. I really loved it. I know a lot of people have problems with just the Mandarin. It's just how they handle the Mandarin. But for me, I just look at this film as a film. It's not that I agree or disagree with the changes. I just think that, you know, they're just modernizing it and just making it in a way that felt a little bit more, I guess, realistic at the time. Instead of having a magician or like sorcerer like Mandarin, just have, you know, someone who's like an illusionist. In this case, creating the illusion of a big bad villain, like a big bad terrorist, but actually all along it was just an actor. So in a way, that's kind of creating illusion, magic, whatever you want to call it. But Iron Man 3, I enjoyed it from beginning to end. If you don't think of it as part of like source material, if you don't think of any of the source material and just look at it as a film, it's a really solid film, very entertaining, great sequences. Number 12, Captain America, the First Avenger. Now, this is a very, very funny thing because I originally didn't really think that Captain America, the First Avenger, was that great. I just thought it was good, like just not bad. It was a decent film, but after watching the Avengers and seeing how everything falls in place, I really like Captain America, the First Avenger more because now I'm less focused on the expectation of like big superhero action and more focused on the character. You see where the character has gone, now you can see where he's come from, and those beginnings were very humble, and it really makes me like the character more. So I appreciated Captain America, the First Avenger more after I watched the other ones. It's funny how that worked out. Number 11, Doctor Strange. I thought Doctor Strange was great. I thought it was a very different type of, I guess, a superhero movie, especially in how they handle the final battle, because I loved how he used the time stone and like using that ability. That was awesome, and you didn't really have to have a strong antagonist, like a strong supervillain, because you know I forgot what he's named. The Baron Mordo? No, not Baron Mordo, but the other one. Anyways, I thought that the character that you know, I completely forgot the actor's name. Mads Mikkelsen. I thought his character was a pretty weak villain in the movie, but the whole antagonist element as a whole was a great way to develop the Doctor Strange character and the way how he finally learned how to use the time stone. Like, that was really awesome, and it was just a lot of fun. And it almost feels like it's a copy of the Iron Man origin story, which it really is, but this is like just doing a completely different thing with something that already works. So that was great. Number 10, Thor Ragnarok. I got a lot of great things to say about this gimmicky movie. It's a really gimmicky movie, come on. But still, it's entertaining as hell. I could watch it so many times and I still love it. But I love the look of the film. I thought Taika Waititi's direction was great. It was very, very fresh. It had this really strong 80s sci-fi feel, like especially with the music and the look of the film, the environments, the set decoration. It was great. But it's very gimmicky. It just relies on a lot of humor that's just out of character. It's just like, where are we going with this, and why is this film so goofy? But it works, because at the end of the day, I just want to have a good time, and I did it. Number 9, Spider-Man Homecoming. This is a really, really great Spider-Man film. I think I don't know, it's hard for me to say which Spider-Man film is really the greatest. I think it could be Spider-Man 2 from Sam Raimi. but Spider-Man Homecoming is definitely right up there. There's so many things which make it great, and I think that Tom Holland is the best Spider-Man after what he's given us, because he really plays the part so well. Number 8, Black Panther. I saw Black Panther twice in the theaters, and I watched it again in Blu-ray, and then it's just such a cool film. I think it's a very cool film because it just shows us this brand new world, this country, Wakanda, and everything, and all these little details. There's so much attention to detail about how the country is, and I just think it's a really great film. The only thing I thought weak about it was the final fight. I thought the final fight was just your typical boom, 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 like punch, bash, you know, whatever, right? But everything else about it was very character driven. And I actually felt like there were times when I got emotional during the movie, and it was during fight scenes because I thought it was just so well done. Like it's just such a great movie, but the fight scene definitely was a bit underwhelming. But that's okay because at least the idea is there of what is there to achieve. Number 7, Ant-Man. I freaking loved Ant-Man. It was just such an unexpected surprise hit. It was a pleasant surprise and a breath of fresh air from all the high-flying super soldier type superhero movies. Ant-Man is definitely a film that really changes things up. It brought us, it expanded the universe. I mean, you know, Ant-Man was always there in the comics, but for those that didn't read the comics, it really gives the audiences something new to marvel at. So that was really great. Number 6, Avengers Infinity War. I don't know if any of you guys expected Avengers Infinity War to be number 6, but it definitely is that, in my opinion. Extraordinary film. Don't get me wrong. It is an amazing film, but it is a film which is not only like the second sequel to Avengers, but it relies on a lot of previous elements, like film elements from previous films, to really make it work. But that's the whole point of it. That's what it is. It's a movie. It's the 19th film in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, but it doesn't work as a standalone film, which you know, I don't know if it's a good or bad thing, but it's definitely a film that if you go into it blindly, you're not going to know what's going on, and you're not going to understand everything that's taking place. But still, a lot of the film is really, really great. As somebody who has followed the comics, as someone who has followed all the movies and watched them again and again, I felt that this was a really, really great film. It's still number 6, but all these films that I'm about to list from this point on are extraordinary and really, really amazing films. Number 5, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1. What another unexpected surprise. I didn't expect, like, I don't know anything about Guardians of the Galaxy from the source material, so what I saw was just something that was just out there, and another breath of fresh air. I don't have much more to say about that other than that, but it was just fun from beginning to end, and there you have it. Number 4, Iron Man. The very first Iron Man. I like rewatching it again recently to do my marathon for Avengers Infinity War. I really, really felt that, like, man, this was not just a not bad movie. This was not just a good movie. This movie was better than I remembered. Just rewatching again, it really showed you Tony Stark's humble beginnings, and it just, well, not humble beginnings, but showing how he changed from something to someone more humble at the end. Like, what a great character development. And it's a very character-driven film. Even though there's spectacular action in this movie, this is a very character-driven film, and it all came down to Jon Favreau's direction and Robert Downey Jr.'s portrayal. It was awesome. Number 3, Captain America: The Winter Soldier. Wow. This movie, once again, changed things up again. It really brought the action to be more grounded. It's a more grounded superhero film, and it's got a lot of more realistic elements to it, and it was a huge reflection on the times that are happening right now in real life, and I thought that was a really, really interesting take on a superhero genre. The Russo brothers really showed us what they can do with this genre and with this universe, and showed us that it's not all just about like fantasy and sci-fi type stuff. They can really ground the Marvel films. Number 2, the original Avengers film that came out in 2012. The first Avengers film. What an amazing film. When it first came out, I thought it was one of the greatest superhero movies of all time. Like, ever. Like, you cannot beat that. That was amazing. And I really don't know how I can improve it. Maybe just improve the opening act. The opening scene. I thought that, you know, they could have opened with a bigger bang. But it's, you know, it's still great. It's still like it's an amazing film. Like, for a movie like that to come out was completely, like, never been done before. So it just blew my mind. Number one, and you guys already know what this is, the only one that's missing, and this might be an unpopular opinion because there's a lot of people who don't get the hype surrounding this film, but I loved Captain America Civil War. That's my top film and my favorite film in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, Captain America Civil War. Because I thought that the villain aspect, the antagonist element, was just brilliant the way they handled that. And I thought Baron Zemo, like, even though they portrayed him differently compared to the comics, I thought that he was a brilliant villain. He was a strong villain, a very intelligent villain. And that's what we need. We don't just need villains that are, like, physically strong, but we need them strong in their mind, like, intelligent, because knowledge is power. Knowledge is, and intelligence is the most powerful superhero out there, superhero ability out there, and he was able to take that and really turn the Avengers on each other, and it created for this spectacular battle on the airport tarmac. Like, I just love rewatching that again and again and again. It's just so well filmed and choreographed, and the action was so amazingly arranged. And it just makes you, like, just wow. And watching that in IMAX 3D was just an amazing sequence. And bringing all those characters together, it was just like an Avengers movie all over again. But except they're fighting each other. And, of course, with the focus being on the first Avenger, Captain America. And it makes you love Captain America more. And as of today, because of all these Captain America films, Captain America, played by Chris Evans. Chris Evans is my Captain America is my favorite Avenger because of all these films. So there you have it. I'm gonna list them for you from 20 to number 1. Number 20, Incredible Hulk. Number 19, Iron Man 2. Number 18, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. Number 17, Avengers Age of Ultron. Number 16, Thor. Number 15, Thor The Dark World. Number 14, Ant-Man and the Wasp. Number 13, Iron Man. Number 12, Captain America, the First Avenger. Number 11, Doctor Strange. Number 10, Thor Ragnarok. Number 9, Spider-Man Homecoming. Number 8, Black Panther. Number 7, Ant-Man. Number 6, Avengers Infinity War. Number 5, Guardians of the Galaxy. Number 4, Iron Man. Number 3, Captain America Winter Soldier. Number 2, Avengers. Number 1, Captain America Civil War. And there you have it. Now, let me just mention that I think that every single film in a Marvel Cinematic Universe, even the Universal Studios produced The Incredible Hulk, every single one of these films are good to great. I don't think any of these films are average to suck. I think all of them are good to great. They know what they're doing, and I feel like these films are just going to get greater and greater and greater, at least on the level, on a range of greatness. I don't think any of these films are just going to be good from this point on. I think all of them are just going to be great to even greater, and they're just spectacular and extraordinary films. They're films that stand out from the rest, especially the rest of the films that come out in the superhero genre, in generally speaking. But these are amazing films, and Marvel Cinematic Universe and what Disney has been doing in collaboration with Marvel Studios has just been outstanding. They're on a home run. They're printing money right now. They're making gold with every hit. And there you have it. Anyways, why don't you guys give me your ranking of the 20 Marvel Cinematic Universe films? Let me know in the comment section below. I would love to see how you rank these films. As always, if you enjoyed this episode, you want to see more, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe to the YouTube channel, like me on Facebook, The Ragin Nation, also follow me on Twitter, Ragin Nation. My name is Alex. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Peace.